We have yet another edition of Spud Hilton's in the room. Yay, Spud.
Oh, I don't.
So spotlight
There he
for
is.
everyone. I don't know. Can I do spotlight for everyone? All right. So Zoom is getting a lot better, by the way. Another edition of the Diana and Scott Talk Travel Show. Now, I want to say again that although it started out as a talk travel show, Spud, you're muted, just so you know. We have used this as an opportunity to talk about a lot of different things. And today is my most exciting topic, and I have the right group of people for this, and that is what is missing from your closet right now? What do you think that deserves more better pockets from Scotty-Vest in your closet? Now, when we talk about this, I have some ideas, and Dirk has got to leave early, and I'm really interested in. I'm looking not just for, oh, I want yet another vest. I'm looking for something we don't do or do but not well enough, and something you can buy multiples of. So there are clothing companies that do really well with yoga pants, and then they buy multiple yoga pants, or Q-zips in different fabrics. Our problem is, candidly, people buy a Scotty vest and they use it for their trip, and then they use it for their next trip, which makes it problems when they're not doing trips. But it lasts too damn long. And they love their Scotty vest, but because it's so well made, literally, I'm running into people with 20-year-old Scotty vests on. Now, I love that, but I want people to think about Scotty Vest as a brand that they can rely on for a multitude of things in their closet, and not like niche-y things that you want to wear every day. So the thing that comes to mind, that I'll just tee this up a little bit. Nice to meet you, Gina. It's 2 minutes. It's an introduction. I got to set the stage. Laura's here. By the way, that's the background.
What did you choose?
I chose my house. That's my deck. That's my
where
view.
I was sitting before I came down here.
Yes, you were.
Now I'm really confused.
Yeah. You have to be in.
No, this is Diana and Scott Talk Travel. I'm Laura.
But you're my daughter, so you should.
Mom.
Hi, Laura.
Okay.
All right, so let me finish up. Hi, Spencer. You're welcome to join as well. Okay, so let me tee it up. The items that I personally think that we need, and I'm only thinking primarily for men, but I definitely want women's points of view here, because women buy way more clothing than men, and they buy clothing for men. But there are two items in particular. One are really comfy pants, not the khakis that we have. Comfy, quote unquote, travel pants. There's a variety of brands that make them now. I wear them constantly. They're kind of a mix between sweats and casual enough you can wear them to work. They're super comfortable. They got a little stretch. All those things. So that pants, I'm going to ask if you agree. I see Spud shaking his head. If there's a particular brand or a feature that you like about it. And then there was a second thing, and I forgot what. Oh, shorts. Workout shorts, the same for the pants, but the shorts too. And personally, I don't speak for the women, but my gut tells me that women would appreciate that as well. In these COVID times, the comfiness and the casualness, and I think you'd buy more than one pair. I know I have a lot of these types of pairs. So with that, I'm going to kick it right off to Dirk, because he's got limited time. Dirk, as you know, if you've been watching these shows, he is our manufacturer of choice. And he's fabulous. And unlike, and there's Sarah as well, unlike our other manufacturers, he brings design to it and helps us, actually merchandise in ways that we have been doing previously ourselves. Sarah's on the line as well. So would it be okay, Dirk, if I kick it off to you to start the conversation?
Yeah, I think I've got a couple of thoughts on this. One, I think the directions you're going in make a lot of sense. Speaking as a consumer, I have not yet gotten on board with the jogger, with the jogger, men's jogger pant, but I just think it's more because I'm a little old-fashioned. I think that's something we're seeing a wide array of product in, and we're seeing things out there with joggers that are really intended. It almost looks like a dress fabric and it's being worn with a blazer. We're also seeing things on the other end of the spectrum that's much more casual. I'm not saying nobody's going more formal right now, but there's a wide spectrum there. And I think something that was a little crisper, that looked a little more like a chino, and then something that was a little bit more casual would be, you could run those two directions in parallel.
I like that idea.
Well, I'm going to jump in because, and it may be my boring, like uptight school background, but I think these pants are kind of goofy. I know Scott loves them. So
Which one? What kind?
Here, show off what you like. I think
these are just one of many pair. I have a multitude. I'm going to open the fly to see who makes it, but I think
they're kind of sort of sweatpants. Just as design. Dirk called them joggers.
I think they're the beta brand.
They're like sweatpants designed to be real pants. I don't even know what you call them.
If someone would have, while like Dirk comes up with a suggestion, if someone has a link they want to share on their screen that they think matches that as a comp, that would probably be interesting and helpful. Dirk's, and I know that Sarah's fast and furiously taking thoughts and notes. I like that idea. So I interrupted you.
So I think, one of the things, so one is the jogger. Two, we've talked about doing some type of a puffer vest. I think there could be something interesting there. We're starting to see more of those. There's some paneling in them that are interesting. Another, I agree with the shorts, but I think that to do the shorts is almost going to take more engineering than the jogger. I think to really get a great pair of shorts is something that we should be working on, but that's going to take a while to develop. And the other two, you touched on one, Scott, and I'm building to kind of a bigger point here, but you touched on, the goal here is to sell a lot of something to someone. So when I look in my closet, I have more tops than bottoms. I have my wardrobe, Sarah will attest to this. Now that we've kind of come through COVID, my wardrobe for the last 15 years has consisted of polo shirts and quarter zips. And I think that's an area where, more performance. I think that's an area that you could be going. And where I'm building towards is what we might be trying to develop here is rather than the single item that we want to explode, but to bring some more breadth to the line and sell a little bit more variety to your customers and give them more reasons to be coming back.
I absolutely adore that in all respects, and if we could do small enough numbers and do a line of a bundle, because I think we need to let people, if you present it as the look, if you will, I think it might do differently well in that regard. I also have one other thought before I forget. And then I want to hear what Sarah, if she's still here, yes.
Yeah.
And then Spud for sure, because he wouldn't show up unless he had something to say. I know that. What about a SCOTTeVEST Patagonia style vest? And let me say this: you guys did an amazing job with the fireside fleece, with all those pockets, and it's gorgeous. But we can't sell those. It's shocking. So my thought is, if you dumb it down and make a 101 version of that. Like if it retails for $49 and it's got the same amount of pockets as Patagonia, but better, they're designed better, because people don't need 20 pockets or 7 pockets or 8 pockets. They need a few pockets. And if you make a few pockets better and sell it cheap, it's a corporate gift. There's multiple colors. There's men, there's women, and I think that less expensive one would help us sell the inventory we have of the more expensive one when they sit side by side. You want the 4-pocket, 101 fleece vest for $49, or the other one? All right, who's next? Someone raise a hand.
Well, it's funny, Scott. We are putting in, because we feel like for you guys, showing you a piece of fabric doesn't always, work. So I actually have the 101 in work sampling as a quilted puffer vest. Oh. I was laughing as you're saying it because I felt like the pockets for the 101 are just so core. So if we could use that, which we know works, and put it into other, into other vest styles or other things that people will wear, it seems like a no-brainer for you guys to have a quilted puffer style vest.
And one other thing, I think whether we make them or not, for every new style that we do, we have to do a couple pop colors. And candidly, I might just show the colors and say sold out on day one. And if people start requesting that color, then we can order that. But you know, if the minimums are too low, our problem with our line, candidly, I'm serious. Someone remember that.
We're gonna take him off camera very soon.
Jeez. All right, someone else who I don't want to babble on. Spud, or wait, Gina's got her hand up. Hold on, Gina. Gina, go ahead.
I'm a huge, my husband and I are huge SCOTTeVEST fans, and my recommendation is maybe like on the Margot Cargo travel pants with the cinch. We love the jogger style. My son is 15. He only wears joggers. So I obviously would like some joggers. So I like what you're saying there, but maybe like on a couple of the pants, make them a little more pickpocket proof. All your customers seem to be travelers. Everything I read on your blog is travelers. And I feel like they're all going to countries where pickpocketing is a big thing. And so maybe we're like under the buttons, maybe have a zipper under there, like a double pocket.
That is brilliant. We already do. No, let me add to, because I love it. We already do pickpocket stuff. I want to make sure that we do that because there's no reason why we couldn't make every pair of pants, you know, apply to our pickpocket proof guarantee by just putting one pocket. We already have a phone pocket, but you know, the part of the problem is how many pockets do you need? You know, but if you just do fewer but more purposeful and say, if you put your stuff in this secure pocket, then we will apply our pickpocket guarantee.
Well,
keep going.
Our men's pants pocket designs to the women's pants.
Oh, I don't know the women's design, so. But no, all right. What's your next point? That's great. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the business all these years, by the way.
Sure.
And nice to meet your husband. That's a fine head of hair, if you don't mind me saying so.
He gets that a lot.
I've got hair envy. All right, go ahead. What's your second point, or all your points?
Oh, that was it. Just the pickpocketing. And that's what I originally sent the email in. That's it. Thank you for having me. I appreciate your time.
Oh, no, I really appreciate your points of view.
We were even talking about that today, how the men's with the layered and deep pockets and the women's pants, like they've got multiple pockets, but they don't have those features.
That's really interesting. We have not led with the pickpocket guarantee. You have to dig deep on our website to find that. And I think that we really ought to apply that more heavily. No other brand offers that. There are certain products that we do it for. Go ahead, Diana.
Okay, I am going to speak for COVID and crime. I live in Chicago. I do not carry a purse, which is the first time in my entire life. As a woman and having been in the fashion industry, I can speak a little bit about how I think some women would like. I love the product. However, there are too many pockets for me. When I go out, I want little things to put in my pockets, plus my, I don't need 20 pockets. I need some, and I like lots of colors. And my friends and my friends' children and grandchildren, but they're married to Lululemon, which, okay, now they're bored with it. So, and Lululemon hasn't really changed. I don't know what their business is like now.
They are killing.
But
they're destroying.
What about Lululemon do you guys all like?
The comfort.
Yeah, let my mom speak.
Okay.
Well, I'm wearing a pair of Lululemon pants now, and I had the pockets sewn down because I didn't want them. It made me look funny. But I would like, I love color. And I walk every day, 10 to 20,000 steps a day, up and down the streets of Chicago. And I see women in jogging pants, easy pants, too tight pants, tops that don't cover the bottom, tops that do cover the bottom. And they're all carrying their phones in their hands. So they need a place to put the phone, which I have in a SCOTTeVEST. And I need 3 or 4 or 5 pockets, but I would be willing to have that little different style in many colors, because the bottoms are, when I see the ladies on the street, well, they have, I call them snuggies, but they're the tights.
Yes.
And though there are no pockets in those.
Yes.
So they have, Laura?
From your daughter who only wears black.
I know, and I only wear black.
what colors would you and your friends like?
They all like, well, every color. I mean, I see some blue, green, yellow, not yellow, that's your.
Blue, like blue, navy, turquoise.
Yes, all the colors.
Oh,
yeah.
all. So
red, not pink, not yellow. Pink in the summer, not yellow. Yellow is not a great color.
Okay.
Purples.
Hold on. We're going to open this up to the peanut gallery because apparently my mother does not know much about colors.
Who's got a color opinion?
Do we have any specific color family requests, things like that? Because again, I only wear black, which I'm not very good at picking colors.
On top.
Okay. Sarah, love the colors that FedEx just came. They look great.
They look good, yeah.
That.
By the way, we should give people an update. Right here, we designed collectively the mask. And here is, I want to thank everyone for doing that. It's turned out amazingly well. Spud, I want to make sure I get one in your hands. Sarah, we need important people samples like Spud to get previews.
We are rushing to get.
I know.
We just want the trims to match, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
I look good.
Yeah,
so
I understand everything's. Go ahead. Who's got a color thought? Diana, you're off.
Men's, women's.
Well, I've got green.
Okay.
From Butch McGuire's.
So, but that's like a hunter green, forest green.
Butch McGuire.
British racing green.
Yeah, that's good.
We'll send a picture of it. So, Spud, I want to hear from you, for God's sake.
You're probably the only person who's ever actually said that. But here's the thing. I've actually been taking notes. As far as colors go, I'm sort of a maroon type of guy, which I understand is not a color that pops. So I'm sorry about that. But I tend to do maroons and navy blues and things like that, which are not all that interesting. Diana makes a really good point about what I would call quantity of pockets versus quality of choice of pockets. So in other words, I'm not as familiar as I ought to be with the SCOTTeVEST lines. And I tend to wonder if there are more sort of mid-range, if you like the pockets, but you only want, 10 of them instead of 27 of them type of thing. That might be one way to expand something that you already make, is to say, listen, not everybody needs a laptop pocket in the back. Not everybody needs the mini pocket in the front, things like that. But that might be one of those places to expand an already set up line, or to set up a line that is here's our entire line of mid-range number of pockets. For the person who travels but still likes to carry a bag, but they want to be able to carry a lot of stuff on them. That carrying a bag thing brings up what might be a sore point, and I apologize about this.
No, it is not at all. No, we know that.
No, not that specific. What I'm about to say is Patagonia, REI, all these guys who are your competition as far as the clothing goes, also all make bags. They make some form of bag. And I understand that the entire early marketing plan for this brand was say, you don't have to take a bag. Isn't that awesome? But if you were to delve into that you guys already have all the technology for pockets. You have the ideas for what kind of pockets make sense and what kind don't. Maybe there are some small bags, a sling bag, a couple other varieties of.
I know Dirk can get that made pretty easily, and we can rebrand it. The reason why I haven't done it, quite simply, it's a great question. We've considered it multiple times. Is that I don't think I can make a bag better than any of the other bag makers. I can't envision what's the SCOTTeVEST secret sauce. It seems dirty. I'm just putting my brand on someone else's bag, saying unless I can do it like really well. Go ahead, Dirk. You got something to say?
Yeah, because I think sorry, Spud. I think we're touching on something important here. There are guys out there who make great bags. There are also people out there who are loyal SCOTTeVEST customers and who are going to come to you.
Right.
You don't need to make a better bag than Osprey. You need to make a really good bag that somebody who believes in your brand is going to be excited to have. We've got another customer who's out of Boston, and it's a small catalog shop, but he's got an incredibly loyal following, and he's doing a really good job. We've rolled out 2 backpacks for them. They're selling.
Right,
they're well engineered.
Put it on.
Are they the best things ever? No, but they're really good. And it's not that you're just trying to sell anything to anybody, but you're trying to bring more product to your loyal customer.
All right.
Yeah, I think what might be worth following up on Dirk's point is that you not only have the brand loyalty going already. There's people who have shown up for this thing who say, "Oh, I'm a longtime fan of SCOTTeVEST, and we love SCOTTeVEST." There's you can start making a bag that makes a lot of sense that is SCOTTeVEST branded, or B, if there's a way to take it to the next level, find a way to make the bag somehow symbiotic with the clothing. I don't know what that is.
I do.
You know, from a prior conversation, we're trying to do and I've got some samples here, smaller bags, but they're not bigger bags. But
you're talking about the pouches inside. I'm trying to. I don't have something specific in mind, but what I'm saying is that if there's a way to somehow make them symbiotic and say, hey, buy the bag and the jacket because they work together somehow. I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous. The only other things I had on my notes were, I think puffer vest is a good idea.
There is, but
yeah, the only thing I worry about is when I do the packing reviews for the Chronicle and how to take everything along, and I would almost always have a SCOTTeVEST piece of clothing in there. And I think you sent me some women's stuff one time, and I was able to take that to the folks in the style department and say, hey, here's this vest that you can just pack with stuff. Isn't that awesome? And they looked at me and said, no woman ever wants to wear something that's going to make this area down here look larger than it is.
No, that's true. No.
And so the only trouble with the puffer vest is that you've already got, I mean, they want puffer vests to be tight enough to still have a shape.
Yeah.
The trick is having the puffer vest that has a shape and still has storage. So that's just a thought on that. As far as the pants and the shorts go, and I might be stepping on another SCOTTeVEST sacred cow here.
There are no sacred cows.
Okay.
I mean, this is the time to bring it all up.
You guys have managed to do almost everything that you've done without using the C word, which is cargo, as in cargo pockets and things like that. When you get into shorts, I swear to God, my favorite 4 pair of shorts, which I've had for 20 years, are some Columbias that had the cargo pockets on the front of the pockets. And
we've done cargo, or no, we've never. We've done hidden. So
yes.
you want to own it? You think we need a cargo short? That makes sense. Who could do it better than us?
Because shorts are one of those things that it's kind of like with the puffer vest. If you get more and more interior pockets, it's just going to look bigger. The nice thing about cargo pockets is that you can still have a nice looking butt and have tight pants, but still have a bunch of places to put the stuff that you're going to carry on the road. I think the pants also fall into that category. Is if you're going to design some pants, consider veering off into maybe it's a line where you go, okay, this is the SCOTTeVEST cargo series or something along those lines. It does beg the question of why do it, because everybody's already making cargo pants. But if you're doing it better,
we can do that better.
If you're putting in pockets within pockets, or if you're getting the other cool pockets that you still
and the pickpocket proof pocket.
And the pickpocket proof. That was what I was just about to say, is the security. I think all of those things would be things to definitely consider. But you know, I don't want you to have to like take your brand some other direction than you've always done, because you're successful.
No, that isn't. I mean,
but it's something
the point of this conversation is to do that. To take the brand in places that I wouldn't personally think of, and to tap into your thinking. But that is perfectly consistent with our brand. And I think that our brand needs to evolve, not just to be thought of as hidden pockets in black and gray products, but but if people are buying things for 3 pockets, because it is a problem when you come to our website and you see an X-ray image with 3 laptops and it's like, come on already, not everyone carries all that, and if you don't put yourself in that mindset, you're not going to buy. If you say, we're not about more pockets, we're about better pockets. And better pockets are pockets that have these 4 qualities. When you lean over, it doesn't fall out. Security. It doesn't print unless it's a cargo short.
Well, it still shouldn't print. I mean, because the whole point of
a cargo, by definition, a freaking cargo pant prints. You know where the pocket is.
But you shouldn't see the contents. That's the other part of printing. You can
design it so that,
you shouldn't know what's inside.
Right. All right, Spencer, I saw you raise a hand there. Can I get you on to say?
Yeah. Sure. What I wanted to point out was that Spud has, in his own way, independently hit the nail on the head of things I was going to bring up. With regard to the idea of an SCV bag, if you go back to the conversation we had a week or 2 weeks ago about modularity, you could go ahead and make a modular pocket where the pouch is detachable, but could be strappable, or something that you could carry independently that you buy more of, which would then allow you to have the ability to buy more of something that you could still go ahead and put into, a parent garment to take with you if need be. Something in a form factor similar to maybe a smaller expedition bag or something comparable to that way. And to Spud's point about the idea of cargo pants, if you were to go ahead and take some of the pre-existing design language you have for your business garments and say that this is a language for the business line, where pockets are not necessarily pronounced as exterior to the garment, but more internalized, whereas the more casual line would have external pockets a la cargo-esque, you then go ahead and branch out while still being able to maintain the core principles that made SCV what it is today. As for my own personal garments that I like the most, I'm surprised that the thing that I find as my favorite garment, and although it's now discontinued, was the SCV travel shirt from way back when, going back to the idea of better pockets versus more. Because the underarm pockets on this particular garment, and they are found in the dress down, button down and snap down shirt, that underarm pocket has caused more people to do double takes at the prospect of, wait a minute, you mean this can be usable space that is not necessarily visible to everyone? The ability to, this particular one I think is like 13 pockets. The new Tech Explorer shirt is like 11. But if you were to go ahead and get
a new tech shirt, Dirk, I don't know if you had anything to, if you can remake that one properly, make sure we send you one. It used to be amazing, but the fabric is nowhere nearly as good as it was. My takeaway here really quick, I just want to make sure I wrote this down right, is I think it's brilliant. I think we need to be marketing as lines. The names will come, but the cargo line are cargo pants for men and women with exterior pockets. A business line, a casual line, a performance line. When I see other apparel brands, and by the way, I'm not good at any of this. I want to just straight up say this. I know how to design a pocket. I was the Garanimals kid. So when it comes to fashion and colors and lines, I will design the pocket all day long, but I know nothing about fashion. So please.
Hey, Scott?
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No.
Because you're talking about lines, I think more than ever, you almost need to have a remote workers line. Because,
I like that.
Because essentially, if I know I have to go over to the coffee shop back in pre-COVID, and I was working freelance, I went over to the coffee shop, but I had to take my Think Tank bag with me, and I love Think Tank. It's actually started by some people from the Chronicle, but I had to take my Think Tank bag with me so that I would have my charger for my laptop and the charger for my phone and, you know, all these other sorts of things. You need a remote worker line of clothes because, you know, nobody wants to sit in their home all the time. They're going to want to go somewhere else.
It's brilliant.
And they got to bring all
We can
that
do
stuff
that.
with
We
them.
can do that tomorrow. We can take a collection of our stuff and call it. That's brilliant. I love it.
I would say
I wrote it down.
casual.
It's brilliant. And
I
that's,
would say
that's PRable too. I mean, if Scotty Vest, yeah, I'm going to owe you big. All right, who's saying something? Dirk?
it was me. I was going to say that you could target it as the business casual, by casual like home, as opposed to in the office. But to finish up my previous thought, as I was talking about the Explorer shirt and the like, this shirt has 13 pockets. The Tech Explorer was 11. From a unit cost, if you could get a 9-pocket shirt for a little bit less than what the Explorer was going for, and again, better pockets as opposed to more, you could probably get people to buy 2 or 3 units easy. The thing, and to your point about how...
You're breaking up. We can't hear you. Can't hear you. To your point, you're muted or can't hear you. All right. Michael. All right. I can't hear you. Okay, I can hear you a little bit.
Sorry.
You have bandwidth issues, so
Yeah.
turn your video off. See if that helps.
Any better?
Yes, a lot better. All right.
Sorry about that. As I was saying, I've got a few friends who are travelers or who are, you know, grew up in diplomatic families.
All right.
They would say that SCV products are good from a pocket perspective, but not as durable as, say,
Okay.
but not as durable as, say, Timberland products.
Timberland, not as durable. Or Carhartt. I mean, we could think of, you know, making a Carhartt version of Scotty Vest as well. I completely agree. Let me, anyone else? Hi, Michael. Hi, Gina. I'm going to unmute you. Hold on. You're muted. Okay.
Hey, Scott.
Wait, Gina's going to jump in here.
I was going to say that, you know, my husband and I are both law enforcement background. And if you type in CCW clothing, I feel like Scotty Vest should come up and it doesn't. Maybe marketing, maybe we could.
All right, I have a question for you. We're going to, I think I wanted to do, can I be honest with you? I wanted to do this session about CCW clothing for Scotty Vest. And I was told by Laura, this is going to get controversial, that, you know, and interesting, that we did not want to focus on CCW because there's the political environment, let me get my words out, is such that it would not be advantageous for people. Hold on. No. She'll have something else to say. That I firmly believe that enough time has passed. There was a reason why we stopped doing it after 9/11 and terrorists, and and there is a lot of thought about the political environment and guns. I think our stuff is perfect for guns as it exists, and gun related stuff as it exists now. My biggest issue is whether we need to design a gun specific product, or we take our products and say, if you have a gun, there's room for it. And this much I don't understand. Laura, you can weigh in 1 second, but tell me this, if you can, Gino, why are our products as they exist now, and for your husband, whose name escapes me, suitable for guns? And then we're going to talk about the marketing aspect of it.
I think they're very suitable for guns, and it's Klaus. We definitely love the Scotty Vest, the original, I guess, SCC vest, or I'm sorry.
No, there's so many different versions. I can't.
Both of our little handguns can fit in it, and it's
without any modifications at all, as they exist.
My only complaint would be that zipper. The zipper's a little tight. Maybe just a longer zipper, but that's about it.
I was told that a real professional, by Secret Service guys and like, I was told that real gun people would never want to have their gun in a pocket. That true gun people need to have it in a holster, and it's just insecure to be in a pocket. Is that not true?
For me, as a female, I don't want it on my body on a holster because my clothing doesn't fit for a gun on my person all the time. And so it's got to be in the vest or in a purse. So I don't have any other choices.
Put it in a purse, you can put it in a pocket. We got multiple pockets to do it. The fact that it's not easy to access in a split second means you just have to think 2 seconds before. It's not like it's not like a fast draw situation. I mean, Klaus, did you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I think that a real gun person or someone who is opposing a real gun person, the first place they're going to go to look is on the waistband where that holster is. So, I mean, there's numerous schools of thought, and there are people across the board that are going to subscribe to to both camps. But there should always be other options versus just a holster, because it's not always practical depending on the situation that the person's in. If they're going into an office meeting, whatever the case is, if they need to potentially take their jacket off, you never know what that situation is going to look like. So having those other options for a pocket or a pant pocket where it's not printing like you were talking about earlier, those are all pretty critical points that have nothing to do with a holster. And I think your product is definitely right there.
So let me.
Scott, I've got a suggestion for that.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
If you were to make a pocket that is semi-rigid, the thing, I'm not a gun owner. I know a lot of people who are gun owners. No one wants a gun to be jostling around on their person if they're in motion. That's just bad, flat out bad, all caps, people stuff. What you would want to have, if you're going to have a pocket in the jacket, would be a way to keep the axis motion of the gun to a minimum. Well, whether it's a more rigid panel.
For a moment, Spencer, we have Velcro patches on what we call rapid access pockets, like really big panels. And it was thought that was the optimal place for CCW clothing. But what I'm hearing is, although that's optimal, according to Gina and Klaus, and this is new information to me that I want to consume, is that yes, that might be optimal, but I'd still take a big pocket, that I can put a loose gun in and put the safety on. Is that correct, Gina?
That's correct for me, because I would still have mine in a holster. I wouldn't be so bold as to carry it in the pocket without the holster.
And where I was going to make a suggestion.
She's referring to a pocket holster.
Yeah. What I was going to make is a suggestion for one of two. Either one, you want a pocket that's got a rigid panel to make certain that, say, the Z-axis is not moving back and forth all the time. Or alternatively, you would want to make it that one of the elastics on the interior of a pocket is tight enough that you could then clip the holster to it, so that it's effectively almost as if you had it on a belt while having it inside the garment.
What are your thoughts on that, Gina and Klaus? Is that necessary or helpful or interesting?
That's super interesting to me, but I feel like it's not necessary. I would love that, but I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, I think this here. Can I tell you really quickly? Here we have previously, as you well know, that's probably how you came to us. We have had and been known for CCW clothing. We made the Enforcer. We're in a lot of spy novels. The Secret Service used our stuff. Special Ops used to buy our stuff. I mean, we had some cred in that space, and I won the NRA award. We've got a multiple IATA, Ayub, this famous, defense trainer. I mean, it goes on and on and on. So, I think that it makes a great deal of sense for us to revisit. The only reason that we haven't, and now I'm going to let Laura speak, because she's the one who told me, stay away from that market. So now,
okay, so
get
first
in the
I'm
picture.
Gonna jump in.
Get in the picture.
Okay. Please. I don't need to be in the picture. It's weird in the background, tearing your lighting. But so when it comes to guns, my dad was a competitive shooter. I grew up with guns. I have no issue with guns. I do think in a marketing environment right now, people are so hypersensitive about anything that to focus on guns. Scott, I'm on the damn camera. No,
I disagree.
I think we can't afford to do anything really controversial.
I don't think it's controversial.
Scott, listen, because obviously Scott wasn't listening at our meeting about this 2 mornings ago. What we agreed upon, rather than going back to the old CCW messaging, was we were going to try an EDC message, which is everyday carry, which is essentially the same thing, but without the concealed word, which is where people are going to focus and be like, oh, you're encouraging people to hide guns on their body. And with EDC, people still, it takes the CCW market, but it's a little broader terminology and probably a little less controversial. And we agreed to experiment with that first. I mean, unfortunately, right now, when you market anything, you have to be just so sensitive to everything because people are hypersensitive and use the wrong word. People start boycotting your company.
We're hypersensitive to this because about 2 years ago, I was an idiot.
We don't need to get into that. But I mean, for instance, I mean, tomorrow.
We let that go, Scott.
We launched a sale today, and because tomorrow's 9/11, we do not have an email about the sale going out tomorrow. We have another one coming out, a reminder on Saturday, because I know if we dare send a marketing message on 9/11, that we'll hear about it. So we're very careful with everything we do. So to show a product with a gun in this environment right now.
That was it. A lot of the X-rays of the guns. I mean, we're hypersensitive to it all. You know, we're not going to solve it here, but I appreciate your insights. This is what I know. Tactical 511 is $1 billion company, and they make shitty products that are not good looking at all and not well made, and they're low cost, and if you've got cops make good money, you know, people with legitimate, you know, guns might want to, and either on or off duty, these people, you know, want a luxury brand to stand behind, and we can do that readily as it is, and we have the street cred to do it. I'll never forget, I went racing one time and I met these guys from the military, and I said, hi, I'm Scott from SCOTTeVEST's. Our guys love your stuff. And they went on and on. And that is one of the most enthusiastic crowds. And once they love your product, they're going to tell other people. And last point, Tactical 511 is the stupidest company in the world. They design and sell clothing that is intended to be concealed carry, but they label it Tactical 511. So if you see a guy wearing Tactical 511, you know they're carrying, or they want to carry, and it's just dumb. And SCOTTeVEST, because all right, Michael, you have something to say.
No, I'm laughing with you. I'm glad I stumbled over you and joined in.
All right, Diana.
I'm in a state that carries a lot of guns. That's Alaska. We have guns.
Oh my God.
But I think we should. Someone write it down. I think it's worth doing. I appreciate Gina and Claude's opinion. Diana, you're on camera.
No, I want to be out of that one. I wanted to stop you from talking.
Is that what
Living up to the wicked name?
Spud, can I bring you on?
I'm you know, purely politics aside, I think Laura makes a point that at this moment we're a little too polarized in general to you know, go with that type of messaging. I don't know how long that'll last, and it might be something to plan for the future.
Yes,
to work toward that. I mean, if you start working on it now, by the time it's all done, we may be a little less polarized, maybe, hopefully. That was the only thing I had to add to that conversation. I
hear you and I believe you. I just, you know, maybe I'm just attracted to polarization, as we all know.
Yeah.
I just think it's wrong not to be influenced by that, to avoid a legitimate market, and it basically perceives people who carry guns to be in one camp or another, and I think that they probably more likely are in one camp, but you know, there's a lot that aren't, and I think that they deserve a better way to carry their guns.
I'm in a bubble in San Francisco, so
Yeah.
my opinion actually isn't legitimate here anyway. Don't even worry about that. I think you're on the right track with a couple other things. I think you're on the right track with maybe coming up with some lines of things and marketing them that way. Even things that you already have that you can just relabel, remarket, things like that.
I agree.
I think there's, as much as we want people to buy travel clothes, I think that is going to be opening up so slowly that I don't know that anyone right now or within the next 6 months is really thinking about, oh, what can I get for my big trip to Croatia? And so the more of the other non-travel things that you can think of might be the best approach right now. Because as a former travel editor, I can tell you that
travel's a dirty word.
Yeah, the word in the wind right now is, everybody who's involved in travel is doing their best to sort of stay afloat or stay relevant. But I don't think there's going to be the type of thing where people actually buy clothes specifically for a trip.
Correct.
For a long time, which is unfortunate.
What about adventure clothing?
You know what? You need a road trip line. You need a road trip line of clothes so that there's a place to keep the Fritos, and there's a place to keep the big bottle of Diet Coke. And no, I'm kidding. Figure out if you can have a road trip relay, because that's where almost all travel is going to be within the next 6 to 9 months.
So into adventure and fitness line. These are good ways. Will you do me a huge favor? Will you plug your podcast again, please, for people who might?
We haven't had a chance to actually get a new one, but for anybody who hasn't heard the Inappropriate Traveler podcast yet, it's on iTunes. Just look up Inappropriate Traveler or my name, and we're trying to approach it from a much more funny. We're dealing with the topics that most people don't deal with. There's a lot of seriousness and earnestness in travel, and you know what? We just look at the messy, naughty, fun side of travel, and there's some great interviews in there that are all from last year, season 1, and I'm lining up some interviews for this year that includes everything from nude vacations to how to take sex toys on the road and things like that.
We're going to plug you in the next newsletter that you tell us when you want to plug for the new stuff or for the old.
I will. It's going to be a couple weeks, but I'll tell you.
Okay, Sarah, you raised your hand, and I think we have 13 minutes left. Sarah, where are you?
You can't figure out
there. Yes. Go ahead.
So I know Dirk touched on a few things, and I'm listening to what, everyone's saying in terms of feedback, since we're the ones kind of developing the product for you. I think capsule collections within your line and building off of what you already have and adding core pieces to merchandise it for men's and women's is really important. And not necessarily, if you do a cargo pocket for men, a cargo pant for men, the women's doesn't need to be a cargo pant. I think it could be something that kind of does the same thing, in the sense that a lot of the leggings, like Diana was talking about, Lululemon and what people are wearing, a lot of the leggings either don't have pockets. I know you guys have one that has a pocket, but the pockets are on the side and things fall out. Everyone's doing it angled, and it's not practical. And you could add a zipper. A zippered pocket on a woman's pant would be really important right now. It goes more about travel as being taken domestically on the road. And even with having pants with practical pockets, to go to the grocery store, so you don't have to carry a bag or a lot of stuff, is important. So I think it's about smart pockets, not as many pockets, which is a little different than we've approached stuff with you guys. And I think it's about taking what you have and reinventing it. I think, the jogger pant could be the same fabric as a short, and the short could be a hybrid short that could get wet and dry quickly, so you could take it to the beach. We could talk about doing some kind of waterproof pouch that you put in it, so that when you're at the beach, right, it all kind of brings together. You put your phone and keys in a pouch that goes into the water short, and it dries quickly. You get in your car and you're already dry. More adventure stuff. Scott, you mentioned like the fishing shirt. A fishing shirt kind of goes in line with that whole, that whole concept, and kind of building off different experiences.
So this is that fishing shirt that I saw my friend wear. Can everyone see this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's just, all we need to do is add our one underarm pocket that Spencer was talking about. you know, I mean, the original vision of SCOTTeVEST was working with a company like Sims and taking their product and adding our functionality to it and co-brand it with technology-enabled clothing. Obviously, I've gone down a different path, but it wouldn't be much more than taking a popular shirt and multiple colors, adding one singular, we don't need all the pockets, just one, and maybe another here because it's easy and cheap and cool. Two additional pockets, but they're smart. The problem I'm finding is that people equate value, unfortunately, with value with number of pockets. And they look at our website and they're like, well, that only has 3 pockets, then it should be less expensive. That should not be the case. I know Spencer raised his hand, but you have something to respond, Sarah.
I was just going to say another way to look at it is, maybe a garment only has 4 pockets, but the fabric's better, right? So maybe we add value with like a unique fabric, a brand.
And one of the pockets needs to be pickpocket proof. That's and that unto itself, I think, and we have to define what pickpocket proof means. Because we might finally get a claim after 7 years of offering a pickpocket guarantee. I mean, there's a brand that we all know, as Spud knows, Clothing Arts. Their whole spiel, they have made a whole brand. It's probably not that big, but on this whole concept of pickpocket proof. He got mad at me, Spud. Did I tell you?
The quality of their stuff is not good.
No, and it doesn't look good. They don't have great colors. It's called Clothing Arts. I mean, it's a nice guy, and I wish him all the luck in the world. Although he got mad at me because I was using the word pickpocket proof, and he claims he owns the registered trademark for pickpocket proof, and he's fighting with me, who has been using the word pickpocket proof on the internet for 15 years, well before he existed. And he says, "Well, I've got a trademark." I'm like, "Would you like to sue me over the word, whether you have the exclusive right to use the word pickpocket?" And he went away. So, Spud, go ahead.
Oh, the only other thing, and I'm sorry, I had to run out to get something important. But I will.
Cheers, Spud.
I want to jump back for a sec to the luggage thing. I've got an overnight bag that is, I don't know, it's hard to describe. It's basically sort of oblong, and you put things down in it. It opens up in the middle, put things down in it. But it occurred to me from, I think it was Spencer's suggestion, that some of the same pockets that the pouches, interior pouches that you're working on for your stuff could be put into that bag. You could tailor that bag by having people buy the slots that they need or the pockets that they need. The only reason I'm familiar with this is because of photography equipment. When you get a good photography, like, Anvil case or something like that, they give you all of the little Velcro padded spacers so that you can make the spaces that you need for your equipment. I'm not talking about going quite that far, but if you're going to need a laptop on this trip, but you're not going to need it on the next trip, just take the laptop sleeve out and leave that there. If you know you're going to need a makeup case on this trip, but not on the last trip, you put the makeup case module back in. The same module stuff that you're working on for clothing, I think there's potential for luggage, a small luggage, carry-on luggage, so that you don't sort of hurt the carry-on brand. But it would be even more fun if some of those things were able to put in your jacket and in your bag.
Absolutely.
That's kind of,
I like that.
It's taking like the packing cubes we're working on and the modular pockets and kind of merging them, where some would be dual purpose, that they could be a pocket to go, but also would work in the packing as like a component that is, a separate component that could be part of a packing cube.
Scott, if I could pipe in real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So to Spud's point about how the travel industry has been taking a hit, I'm in my own little bubble out in New Jersey. The 2 most common kinds of people I'm seeing out and about right now are joggers and cyclists. So to Sarah's point and to Spud's point, and I think to some extent even Cass's point, the idea of having garments that are going to give more pocket functionality to individuals partaking in those kinds of events, or just something that, you know, goes beyond the concept of the 1 or 2 pocket garment. Sarah talked about the idea of the slash pockets not necessarily being the greatest. I think they're fantastic when I'm cycling. I think they're fantastic when I'm sitting down in my car because I can no longer get at my front pockets because I'm creased over, and, you know, can't get at things in my back pockets because I'm sitting down. So the idea of having slash leg pockets occasionally can also be of value depending upon, you know, the target niche. What initially turned me on to SCOTTeVEST products was, in fact, the pocket number. But that back then, you didn't have the design language to go ahead and give multiple pockets within pockets or to give enhanced functionality. If I don't know if going for a 3 or 4 pocket garment for, say, a long sleeve shirt is going to go ahead and appeal to the value shopper like me. I think a 6 pocket would do the trick. But I just think that if you're going to go with a lower number, then you need to make certain you're promoting the value add and other characteristics of the garment in question.
Well, those are great things. I want to let people know it's 5:55. We have 5 minutes left, and I want to promise at precisely 6 o'clock we're going to end. So if anyone wants to add anything at this point in a wind up, this has been one of the most helpful meetings I think we've done in a long time. I really appreciate the feedback. It's ranged vastly. And Sarah, I hope to bring Dirk up to speed because I have an idea of a way that, you know, will impact. I'd like to partner with you guys where you guys take some of the risk on these new product lines, and there's a way that a lot of this can happen to both our benefits. But anyone want to wrap in a final thought? Go ahead, Spud.
The only reason you haven't seen me wear my Q-zips, which I love and have a ton, is because I've gained enough weight during the COVID thing that they aren't as loose as I'd like them to be. So maybe there's a whole
provide you with writing. What colors do you like for your new you?
Don't worry about it.
No.
I'm just saying maybe there's a whole nother line, which is I gained a bunch of weight during the pandemic line.
Stretch fabric.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
really. I like your ideas. And I know we will follow up.
I'm going to jump in now because we've got only a couple minutes left. And so we were talking about what our topic should be for next week. And I had thrown out the idea that we should kind of get back to our original Diana and Scott Talk Travel and focus on what people have actually done. Because Spud, I know you were just in Oregon. My mother in Chicago actually ventured out here to Idaho.
It was scary.
We have a lot of people, friends, you know, who are camping. And I thought we could talk about like who has ventured out, what did they do, where did they go, were they comfortable, was it what they expected? I think we probably have a lot of people who have questions about it. I mean, Michael, I know you up in Alaska are fishing and doing fun stuff nearby, kind of like what we're doing here in Idaho. But I think a lot lot of people who are considering getting a little, maybe
we can talk about what's going on in this community.
People are getting a little antsy, like, should they go? What's going to happen if they do? We keep, you know, we're in a resort town that it's the most bizarre season ever. But, oh, you're pointing out this. We keep running into people, well, they're walking around town or out hiking or they stop by our store. And people from California who are like, I just got in my car and I'm driving. And I have no plan, no destination. Some nights I camp. Last night I slept in the car. Tonight I'm in the hotel next door. I'm not sure what I'm doing. And I have no...
It's a great adventure. It's something they never would have done.
I just am on the road and don't know what to do.
Laura, we did this afternoon. This afternoon, Ann and I just got in the car to be in the car. Because if you've read the headline, San Francisco is
it's horrible.
Fire.
We have, you know, I can barely see 2 blocks because of the smoke that's here. So we actually drove out to the Golden Gate Bridge, and and took pictures of not being able to see the entire length of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh, wow. Oh,
If someone has something,
Anyway,
email us. Otherwise, that's a likely topic. Spencer, you want to add the final words here?
Sure. Based upon what Laura just described from various people in California and also from Spud's anecdotes, the thing that your garments are helping to give a sense of is empowerment. The ability to go ahead and basically, you know, the desire for that inner freedom to go someplace. Well, if you make certain that you pack the things that you think you're going to need to prepare for the unknown, away you go. In my case, when I was traveling to Manhattan, a battery pack for my phone, a pack of tissues, my NJ Transit ticket, you know, whatever I needed for my daily routine of the things that I might encounter, I packed and I went.
Brilliant. Clothing that empowers you. I mean, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
All right. Gina had a comment in the comment section. How about offering an unhemmed pant for taller folks? She's, I guess it's Claude is 6'5", you know, 36-inch seam that I can purchase. It's worth the consideration. We'll add that. It is precisely 6 p.m. We will see you next Thursday on the dot. 5 p.m. Please. This was fabulous. Thank you very much.
and Michael, look out for the bears behind you. Never turn your back on Grizzlies, man.
Yeah, never turn your back on the Grizzlies.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Take care, guys.